Today I'm off to Stafford CEX because I've spotted a rare edition of an Xbox 360 game that I actually kind of want purely because it's backwards compatible. And it'll be cool to have. It's a game I technically already own on PlayStation 3, but not this version of it. You'll see. I don't typically collect for 360. I even got rid of the majority of my 360 collection a few months ago, which, given that I now have like three shelves worth of 50 games worth of spaces on my shelf, potentially was an error. But it doesn't matter. There's a specific game we're going to go and get. We're going to go and get it. And something else that I need to do, check this out. I'm not doing this today because I don't think I would have the time, but this entire, 5-foot-ish pile of films, and then those down there as well, they all need to go to CEX. They are Blu-rays that have been slowly but surely replaced, or don't need to be replaced, and I'm just getting rid of over the last few months. And I'm going to take them to CEX and see how much of a voucher it gets me. Like, check this out of the last time I did it. This right here, is the biggest CEX receipt I have ever had. And it was all the stuff I traded in last time. I don't know if there's more this time or less. I was going to do it today, but I've got too much on today to get that done. I think it'd take too long because that took obviously quite a while for the staff to do. And I could do a drop and go, but I don't want to do that because then that's not very good for content. And with it being Stafford, they won't care either way. So we shall do that one on another day. I also desperately need to get my car cleaned. It is filthy. Loads of people wanted to remind me of that on TikTok the other day too. So Neve's Cars had a bit of a problem where the fuel cover cap cover thing won't open. It was just permanently locked. Neve and I have got the same car. And she took it to the garage on Monday. They managed to get it open, but they had to snap a thing off that was causing it to lock and then order the replacement for it and get that done. And people, when I demonstrated what it's supposed to look like, because we've got the same car, I was like, yeah, here's the bit they snapped off where, on my car it isn't snapped off. They were like, your car's filthy. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's because it doesn't get used all that often. I've had my car since June 2022 and I've done 4,500 miles and most of those were CEX related. So yeah. So tonight we're also going to the cinema to see Warfare. This is apparently going to be a really good week for films because on Monday, I'm recording this on the Wednesday, on Monday we went to see Sinners, the Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler horror-ish film, and that was really, really good. And apparently Warfare tonight is also supposed to be really, really good. So that's two really good films back to back. Hopefully everybody shuts up. Because we did have 3 films in a row that we went to see where people were just talking and being on their phones. One that absolutely baffled me was these people next to Neve just wouldn't shut up and kept being on their phones. This middle-aged couple. She asked them to stop the first time. They said sorry. And then the second time they were just on their phones and she went, "Are you serious?" And they were like, "What?" And then they stood up and moved to the end of the aisle, which we thought they were leaving. Because a lot of the time, right, we've had it before where once you say something to somebody more than once about them not behaving properly in the cinema, they get so embarrassed that they leave. Like, that happens more often than you'd think. But this couple just moved to the end of the aisle and we were like, that's so strange. Just watch the film. Our cinema is an Odeon Lux. There is no ticket in this screen that is less than 20 quid. If you have then both got a drink and a popcorn each, now you're looking at probably 50, 60 quid's worth of stuff to go and watch a film, but instead you're talking and sitting on your phones when you could have just paid £2.99 or whatever it is to rent it for a few hours on Amazon Prime. Like, what are we doing here? Anyway, I could very much so rant for quite a while about cinema-related things. In other news, Lil Ruby Roo down here is in rest mode. She's just doing a lot of napping because she's come into season again. It's only her second one ever. She's only a year and a half. And last time she had a phantom pregnancy, so that wasn't very fun. So she's not in the best of moods at the minute, are you, Rubes? Last night I came down and she'd actually managed to lift up the blanket, get underneath it completely, and was completely snuggled. We had to check she could breathe. But yeah, she'll be alright. Shouldn't be long now, should it, Rubes? Anyway, it's been a few days, so I'm going to have... They're not there. I was going to say I'm going to have a protein cookie. They're down here. If you guys get anything from My Protein, if you're in any way related to Gym World, be sure to use code Cayle at My Protein. Your clothes, your protein powders, your anythings, your chocolate chip baked cookies, these are brilliant. Yeah. The blue light means she's stalking me. Hello.
talking to the dog?
I was talking to the dog. She's feeling sorry for herself.
Aww.
She wouldn't get out of bed.
Oh, she's sleepy.
Neva's made me aware of a consideration I did not think of, in that if I want to get my car washed, it's going to take at least an hour, because it's a good car wash. Maybe I should take the DVDs, because otherwise I'm not going to spend an hour in CEX. Surprisingly, I don't tend to spend that long in CEX. Whoops. Alright then, one big IKEA bag. Hopefully this is enough to hold everything. It was last time, and I'm pretty sure I got less than last time. So they don't all fit. I filled up a CEX bag, and I'm still not done. And the problem I think I'm going to have is I need to get these from the back of my car at said car wash to CEX. And I don't know what the likelihood of that is. Oh dear. Alright, bag has made it to the car. To the car wash we go. And then we've got to get this from the car wash to CEX without dropping it everywhere. Fantastic. Alrighty then, so I filled in some sort of piece of paper to basically sign off that bag of DVDs with this CEX. Because, yeah, they can't... Apparently the CEX is changing how they do things when it comes to the regular DVDs, or at least this CEX is. I think I touch upon that a little bit more later on in the video, because obviously this bit's voiced over. But I spent quite a while in CEX Stafford today just looking around, because I was getting my car washed as well and I had an hour to kill. But I did have a few things in mind with this trip. In fact, that Wolfenstein in the bottom right corner I've looked at so many times thinking, do I already own it? Do I not already own it? And now that I'm actually thinking about it and recording this video, I can see that I do own it, but it's one of my 360 ones. I think it's one of those 360 games. Speaking of which, check out this Little Big Planet steelbook. That is a nice steelbook. It's a shame I don't care, like even slightly, about Little Big Planet. Otherwise, I probably got that. Although to be fair, I've got some steelbooks for other games I don't care about. So realistically, maybe I should pick it up. Maybe I'll head back in one of the coming days and get it again. But anyway, I think Wolfenstein might be one of those first-person shooters that were better on 360 versus PS3. I know that there was a handful of those that just suffered from poor frame rates over on PS3. I couldn't put my name on which ones exactly they are, but for some reason I think that Wolfenstein might be one of them. But I still might get it anyway. I don't actually have that many 360 games anymore. Well, actually, that's not true. I've got over 50. But a lot of them are the... I'm looking at them right now. A lot of them are the exclusives. I tell you one line of 360 games that I wish that I got on PS3 instead is the Spider-Man games, because they've only gotten more expensive with time, and they were pretty expensive when I got them. If you want to get the Spider-Man games that came out on the 360 and PS3 era now, a lot of them are between like 60 and 100 quid. It's getting pretty mental. And I could trade in my 360 ones towards them, but I still think I'd want the 360 ones because they're backwards compatible on Series X, I think. Actually, they might not be. I'm not sure. But again, so it's a bit of a problem, right? A lot of games I collect to get a physical version of that I own digitally on a superior console or superior system. You know, for example, if I buy Borderlands Game of the Year Edition on PS3 because I want it on my shelf, I'm never going to play that exact disc because I would just play the Game of the Year Enhanced Edition on PS4 or PS5. You see what I mean? Whereas these Spider-Man games and some of the 360 games that I might pick up in this video, they're both stuff that actual disc I might use. So I don't know. Bit of a struggle in decision making there. Buying duplicates of things again. It's like Resident Evil 4 all over again. But yeah, still keeping an eye out for some certain PS2 games. Mascots like Jack 2 down here, for example. My car smells all clean and tidy. That didn't go to plan, though, at CEX. So, turns out, in the coming months, CEX are going to stop regular DVDs at some point. Or at least ours is. And as such, they can only take 20 DVDs at a time. And I had lots more than 20 in that bag. So what they've done is they did some sort of, I don't know what he called it. He had me sign a piece of paper to sign it over to them, basically. Where for the next, he said 3 to 4 weeks, they'll do 20 per day. And each day I'll get emailed a voucher. So that's going to be interesting. Means I'm going to get like a 20p voucher every day, but you know, wonderful. At least we got it done. At least they're gone. Or at least the majority are gone. There is still another bag of them, but I'm just trying to tidy my room up because my room has been a mess now for months. Anyway, it's 22:06, and 20:05, and I need to eat some food and go to the gym before dinner because the gym shuts at 10, and otherwise we ain't going. I also kind of want to see how well my car's been cleaned because it has been ages. It smells good, and the inside's definitely a lot cleaner, that's for sure. Like the seats and stuff. Tell you what is always a ball ache though, is trying to find the exact same seating position that I had prior to the car clean. But yeah, I also need to go into Aldi to get some almond milk. Adult life problems, eh? It's been a while since I've put the camera there. You used to do that all the time in the longer vlogs. Hello, Ruby. I'm talking to the camera here. Deadpool pre-workout, Deadpool cherry. Give it a go. It's my daily driver. And I used to not take pre-workout like ever. Alright. Shakes. Shaker. Water. Probably need a bit more water. Need a double scoop today because I've not eaten nearly enough, nor did I sleep nearly enough, and I'm training earlier than I should. It's not been an ideal day for best performance in the gym, but needs must, and we don't miss no matter what. So there's that. 2 scoops for today. Shake it like you're doing your best to get to sleep. It looks like it's about to start raining too, but at least it didn't rain while I was carrying that big bag of DVDs through town. That took me a while. I've even lost some skin on my finger. That's less than ideal, but you know, we'll survive. I'll see you guys when I'm back from the gym and eating dinner and going to the cinema. Whoops. We ended up in quite a big rush, and I didn't film dinner, and I didn't film the walk or anything like that to and from Odeon. But we went to see Warfare tonight, which was definitely very interesting. It was an hour and a half. I'd say Warfare was one of those films, like, you know, I feel like every film has got a different purpose, right? Not every film exists for you to have fun and be entertained, but that doesn't necessarily make it bad. Like, Warfare is by no means a bad film. It is a good film. It serves its purpose very well. It does exactly what it intends to do, and it's to convey the horrors and shocks of the things that go on in the film. But I definitely left very somber, and it's always an interesting one when you watch a film that you leave somber. Another example of like a film that you watch and see the end of and just feel very somber is like Donnie Darko, but that's still sort of telling more of a story that has like a beginning, a middle, and an end. But because this is so grounded in reality, or is trying to be as grounded in reality as a film about war can be, it was like there isn't necessarily any beginning, middle, and end. It's just sort of constant go, go, go for the most part in terms of just what's happening. And then the film ends and it's like, oh. So I don't know how to recommend Warfare. Sinners was a very entertaining film. Sinners was really good the other day. Warfare is definitely one of those that I'll never see again because it's the sort of thing you only really ever need to watch once. But it's definitely the sort of film you walk out of feeling a little bit like, I don't know, definitely not as happy as when you walked in. See it that way. But that doesn't make it a bad film because that's kind of the entire point of the film. It was good. But I'm definitely looking forward to the next time we go to the cinema now, so we can sort of leave a little bit happier, because next time is Until Dawn. Which, actually, Until Dawn's going to be an interesting one, because it seems to be deviating quite a lot from the game, and I know that a lot of people are complaining about that, but I don't mind the way that it's deviating from the game, because it's deviating in a way that I'll actually enjoy, because it seems to be playing into the time loop aspect that these people are stuck in through the night, rather than just it being one cohesive, like, set-in-stone story. And I think that's the only real way that they could have done Until Dawn, to be honest, because remember, the whole point of Until Dawn is that every player is going to have a slightly different outcome in terms of who makes it and who doesn't, whereas you can't have that during a film. But one way to explore different people surviving or dying in different ways in a film is to have a time loop aspect, and I do love a time loop aspect in like anything. Like, one of my favourite films is a film called Triangle. If you've never seen Triangle, go and watch Triangle. So I think I'm going to enjoy Until Dawn a lot more than other people will, even though it doesn't look like it's going to stick very close to the game. Speaking of sticking very close to the game, we've had The Last of Us Season 2 Part 2, and I think it's very interesting watching the internet get annoyed, and I'm seeing them make the same arguments that I will make on behalf of the game as well, but will not make in behalf of the TV show. For example, one of the arguments as to Joel dying in season 2 or part 2 of the game being stupid is the fact that Joel would have behaved very differently and wouldn't have allowed this to happen in the way that it did in the game. Joel is way too capable of a survivor for what happened to have happened, basically. And people are saying that now about the TV show. But that's not true. Rewatch season 1. Rewatch season 1. Outside of the final episode, Joel is very much so nowhere near the badass he is in the games. He panics, he gets beaten one-on-one quite a bit by people half his age. He's not this big superhero badass in the show that he was in the game. So I don't mind the way that he goes out in the show as much as I minded it in the game, because game Joel is a superhero. TV show Joel is not, so it makes a lot more sense that he could get ganged up on and have silly things happen, because silly things happen in season 1. Season 1 Joel is just nothing like the game, really. To the point where I remember throughout the entirety of season 1, as it was airing a few years ago, saying that Joel going on the rampage in the hospital at the end is not going to be very well written, due to the fact that this version of Joel has been shown multiple times to not be capable of that level of skill and violence, because the amount of times he has been beaten or needed to be saved or just hasn't been able to handle situations well without having some sort of panic attack or something like that. Game Joel, it's within character for him to do that, or be capable of doing that, regardless of whether he wanted to or not, because that's not necessarily the same thing either. But TV show Joel, throughout all of season 1, didn't show anything that would have said he was capable of taking on an entire hospital full of troops, and then all of a sudden he does. That's bad writing. And now we're back to him not being very capable because he gets beaten by like a 5'0", 100-pound woman with half a golf club. And it's like, you know what I mean? It makes sense that he can get beaten in the TV show because he's just not the badass that he was in the games. But yeah, just thoughts. It's going to be very interesting watching it play out, because I'm seeing a lot of people going, can't wait for Ellie to get her revenge on Abby. Oh dear. Anyway, let me show you guys what I got from CEX today, shall we? I've ranted enough. So the game that I went with the intent on getting was the Ultimate Edition of Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age Origins on Xbox 360 is like £1.50, but the Ultimate Edition is £20, and it's because it comes with all the DLC on a disc. I like owning all these sorts of things, like the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas Game of the Year editions, and Borderlands Game of the Year edition, anything that's got the disc on a DLC, because then you are protected forever in owning that DLC. I don't know how much the DLC costs to buy, if you can still buy it, but, having it all on a disc is a good thing, especially with how old this game is. That sort of thing is not going to be around for purchase digitally forever. And especially because this, I'm pretty sure, is backwards compatible with Series X, it means that I can just put it straight into the Series X and play it that way as well. That's why I chose this version over the PS3 version. I think the PS3 version is like £38, so it's even more. So this is why it's a rare one that I will pick up for 360. Next up, Jak 2 Renegade. Never played the Jak and Daxter games, but recently I've been getting all of the Ratchet and Clanks and Sly Coopers, so I feel like Jak is also probably another franchise along that sort of same line to also begin looking for, and I'd have noticed quite a few times now that Jak 2 has been in my local CX for a while, so pick that one up as well. I'll keep an eye out for Jak 1 and Jak 3. I already own the HD collection as part of the Classics HD lineup over on PlayStation 3 as well. So yeah, that was today's CX haul. And of course I took all of those DVDs in, and they said it's going to be 3 weeks, so stay tuned for that. Check this out actually. The TikTok version of that video, where I basically, because obviously they do TikTok as well, has absolutely blown right up, if that'll focus. 200,000 views on it in 4 hours. That is pretty nuts. That might be a 1 million view video. It is very rare that a video does this, blows up this well, this soon. Like if I get a 200,000 view video, it's generally a video that will climb that over a couple of days if it's doing well. If a video is doing so well that it does 200,000 views in a few hours, that might be one that climbs to 1 million. So we'll see. Stay tuned. I'm sure we'll be back at CEX in no time, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you later.